This week in the League of Legends, we've got a brand new Sona skin that we sort of touched on last week, and now we're going to sort of touch on it a lot more. Additionally, we've got the final iteration of the Refer a Friend program, which is out and live. It's got all kind of goodies for you to enjoy. All this and more on the Spazzy Gaming Web Show.
This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we're here today to talk about the League of Legends. This is an ongoing show. We talk a little bit about everyone's favorite MOBA-style battle game.
DJ Sona! Probably the only interesting news we have all week is the fact that we learned more details about it.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit last week. We mentioned some of the songs and how cool they kind of looked.
Theory crafted.
Now we have videos and audio and craziness.
And a really well done site for it. So, the main gimmick of this skin is the fact that it's not only going to have unique particles, unique model, and voice acting, but there's 3 sets of it. You can change between one of 3 different models at a time depending on which one you toggle on and off.
Yes, and this is done through an in-game feature, like a dance emote where you type /dance or /joke. In this case, you do /toggle and then the name of one of 3 songs.
They're talking about adding a kind of like a music note icon next to your image so you can toggle it from there as well.
And the songs, what have we got? We've got Concussive,
Kinetic, and Ethereal.
Ethereal. Now, they're all very different, and they, of course, interact with the usage of your skills, which aura you're using, when your ult is coming up, all kinds of fun stuff like that. It's not quite as visually amazing as I thought it was going to be. It's very visually amazing, but, you know, simple things like having the audio sync up with, like, the musical kind of, like, reverberations as far as the particle effects go. It's not all there. It doesn't sync up perfectly. Sometimes the audio drops a little bit weird when you're activating skills. It's not perfect, but as far as like a skin of this caliber, it's the first one we've seen it, and it's an excellent start.
And this actually opens up a lot of stuff for future skins and maybe even future champions where you have this new toggle feature. That's like some pretty heavy tech in the game now for one skin that they could probably, you know, add to future, you know, legendary skins, future champions, all sorts of stuff. So I can't wait to see what they do with it. And fun fact, actually one of the bands that does one of the songs, I can't remember if it's Ethereal or Concussive, but Pretty Lights is actually a Colorado band.
Yeah, that's where we're from.
So yeah, it's kind of cool seeing that, you know, Colorado represented with DJ Sona.
And
just like the Ezreal skin, you're going to actually be getting a banner for your character page, and I think 3 icons? 3 banners, 3 icons, depending on the
face
one you want.
that you want to use. Now, the toggle feature, I think, is the most interesting part about this. I'm not a huge music guy, so this isn't like, oh my gosh, Sona.
Music.
But the toggle feature is cool for me as far as upcoming skins go, like 975 skins, 1300 skins, where you could have things like, you know, you have Kha'Zix, and you're like, okay, I want to toggle his wings to be out and slatted in this way, or I can toggle his wings to be withdrawn. It's sort of like the Vi skin, where when you did the taunt, her glasses would come down, and then when you did the taunt again, glasses would come back up. It's little stuff like that that really makes the skins on League awesome. And I really hope they do more like that, especially with this new toggle feature.
And that's why I think League has that kind of advantage over other games where you have the more customization of items. Like Dota has the, you know, you can mix and match parts like that. But we've always said that League has the advantage of they have people in-house that are going to make these skins worth the money, the additional, you know, cost of them, because they're going to have that tweaks like that. You really don't get that with user-created items.
Yeah, in Dota especially, like, there are styles of items that you can change before or after the game, but during the game, it's not really a whole lot.
Yeah. You get, like, particle effects or strange items, but you don't get, you know, visors flipping down, special different animations. It's cool stuff like that that, you know, really draws people towards League.
And here's hoping it sets a precedent for the future. The next item on our list is the Refer a Friend program. This has been overall a little bit. We talked about this a while ago, but now it's finally out.
For those of you who don't know, the old Refer a Friend program was a very, very long list of recruitments. It was like you recruit one person, you get like 100 IP, 200, and it would scale up, and then you get, after I think like 100 friends, you get the Warwick skin. And then you keep going, and then there'd be kind of more and more tiers to the forums and kind of like smaller things, to the point where you would get like Medieval Twitch, your name would be added somewhere into the game. That's where the old lizard on Twisted Tree Line was named. Total Biscuits of Rejuvenation is one of them. And it just goes on and on and on until the point where you actually earned a trip to go check out Riot Games Studio and help them create a character, which means they had a character already created, but you get to put some input in.
And this was in League's infancy. This was,
Back in the day.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And, things have changed for League a lot since then. And, I mean, it's hard to meet a person anymore that hasn't picked up League at some point. So, they've made it a little easier to get the rewards. 1 through 5, 1 and 2 friends, you get 1,000 IP a pop. At 3 friends, you get another 1,000 IP, and you get Grey Warwick. At 4 friends, you get an additional 1,000 IP. And at 5, you cap out, you get Medieval Twitch and 1,000 more IP, and that's it as far as rewards go.
Anybody that was on the old Refer a Friend program, because there was a period of time where you could convert to the new one or be in this new Refer a Friend program, they pretty much converted everybody over, and any rewards that you were working on are gone, and there's that's it. No RP rewards anymore.
Darn.
And yeah, so it's kind of an interesting change.
Some of the win bonuses that you could get were nice, but just getting straight IP, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's 1,000 IP. That's a good 2 or 3 matches worth, if you're good.
Well, if you're very good and the game lasts 16 years. But very interesting. Shame there's no more RP, but now Medieval Twitch will be more common, which I guess is a good thing.
Well, I haven't seen it since the
I saw it,
remake.
I think, twice, and I thought I was like, oh my god, who am I playing with?
Because if you saw Medieval Twitch, one of 2 things. They were an internet celebrity that used their recruiter friend program, and they just had it. Or B, it was just a bot. Someone that used a bot to get one. So.
And either way, that was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I love robots. But that's it for official news, unfortunately, guys. Slow week after patch. We've come to expect this sort of thing.
There was a lot of fluff pieces on the website. We had one talking about the creation of a lot of the music of League. It was very good, interesting. I watched it at work while working, and it was kind of interesting to see how they created some of the things like Pentakill and DJ Sona and stuff like that. Besides that, it's just a lot of fluff piece. One guy talked about cooking food that would be themed to League of Legends. Another one about some of the players in the LCS. And
definitely an off week. But we're going to jump into our own information here. And when I say information, I, of course, mean our questions section. Our first one comes from Mester12. He says, in case of a very probable visual update on Tarek and Kassadin, what do you guys think they should look like? Well, you're the Tarek expert.
Tarek has a very, very unique visual kind of theme to him. He's very gem-ified.
Really?
He's a very... His whole theming and magic came from his attunement to stones and kind of the earth, which was something new. And his lore originally had him from a different plane of existence, and he kind of found his way here. We never learned why. We never learned how. That's just all we got. So I would like to kind of see them step it forward a bit, let him kind of be this huge... We've seen these bigger character models make him a huge guy, fabulous guy, and kind of go a step further with that whole gem theme. Let more particle effects, kind of piles of gems come out when he's stunning people, or his hammer or shatter is more colorful and effect. That would be great. But I think the overall theme of a very heavy, armored guy using these gems as his power source would be cool.
See, I kind of like that, except I'm thinking of it a little different. He starts off kind of very bare bones armor, and then slowly as the game is played...
Kind of like Kha'Zix.
Kind of similar to Kha'Zix, but more similar to Cassiopeia. But similarly where the more actions he takes, the healing, the auto attacks, the crystals on his armor grow.
Ooh.
And so when he does his thing where he shatters all his crystals, all those stacks shatter off. And it goes back to normal, but it unleashes all this power. And it can give him a permanent bonus, maybe like Vigar, or... It can be a huge team fight thing, but sort of this idea of a support that sort of builds momentum and then unleashes it all in a big swing moment, and that can make or break your team. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool. Maybe introduce a blind or something with that.
But as far as what it looks like, we can bring back Black Tarek in simple crystalline armor that slowly grows. I think that'd be awesome.
It's like you wouldn't know, but in Avatar there was a crystal that they put on people, and it would slowly grow and encase them, and just slowly see Tarek just become just a rock rolling down the lane.
Arm rock solid.
And as for Cassidon, I think that if they just made more details in his void appearance, it'd be great. The texture update they did to him was a great step, but I think if they really kind of emphasize more of that effect that they used for his blade, the kind of like ultimate dimension kind of effect, I would really like to see that on more of his abilities. Like, no matter where you see that effect, the effect moves differently than it would be panning around with other stuff. Just kind of like stuff like that.
I mean, they've got a chance to do new lore for Cassidon, but if they're going to sort of stick with the old theme, I'd love to see something similar to where, he's void touched. And it's unwilling, and that's why he wears all that equipment, is to cover up a lot of that damage. So I'd love to see maybe, like, he's got armor, but there's, like, cuts in it. There's breaking points, and you can sort of see this sort of wretchedness underneath. And whether that's a void texture like his sword, or maybe it's just horrible scars, and you're just like, wow, this guy got really messed up, and he doesn't want this to happen to people. Like his daughter! But I think that'd be interesting. Sort of keep the same idea. I mean, everybody loves the stupid mask. Everyone loves the floating, I've got this lightsaber. Everybody loves that. So you got to keep that. But as far as the details go, make him really look like he had this big thing happen to him.
Make him look like he fell down a stairs full of void touch evilness.
Yeah, and like maybe show like some signs that he used to be a pretty competent, smart guy. Good fighter. But some weird happened. And he's sort of still adjusting to it. And so you can sort of see some of his old ways, but then some of the new stuff is in there as well, both in his armor and his demeanor and the way he fights.
Kind of going off to a side topic here, he would be very good to kind of fill that role of a very educated kind of scholar character. We really don't have that on the more...
I've seen your death. It was painful. That guy's a scholar.
Well, he's
Sharima.
But no, like, I could see him, like, pull out a book and taking notes and being like, all right, that's how this works. Or he's, like, keeping track of, like,
well, Vel'Koz is keeping notes. All kinds of notes.
That is true. That is real. I forgot that Vel'Koz is really messed up. He's like, you shatter it this way. More of your race would be useful to test
I've
this
seen
theory.
your rays. They were painful.
But yeah, like more kind of intellectual Cassidon would be great. Instead of, oh, I'm so sad and despair. It's just like, I'm adjusting.
To silence my mother once. We had someone... I miss talking about Caston's daughter for just so long. Just being angry about it.
Dude, she got retconned out of it. Like,
I know. We're never gonna see it.
You know what? She was being introduced to the League of Legends, and then they got rid of it, and she just faded into nothing.
No.
If you have any fan art of that, I would be more than happy to reward you with some
Remember when
RP.
Jace was coming out? We're like, it's Jace's Caston's daughter's name. We were super excited.
No, it was Syndra.
Was it?
It was Syndra, remember? Or it was either Syndra or Lysandra.
We were excitable. Back when we had spirit.
And people that liked us.
But that's it for questions this week. We're doing kind of a short episode this week, guys. So if you have any questions for us about the show, we usually try to answer at least two if we're not rambling. So feel free to send one in. We take questions about anything. League of Legends, gaming in general, what we're up to, what the show's up to, what's coming up in the future for whatever. Even personal questions. We really take them all. But if you have them, just post them in the comment section below. Send them to our email at spasticgaming@gmail.com. Or post them on our Facebook, website, or Twitter.
Website's still down. I'm kind of still thinking about what we're going to do, integrating the Patreon. If you got any suggestion for that, I am more than happy to listen.
Yay! Speaking of Patreon, it's still up. We've got a couple generous backers so far. And we're definitely creating that custom content we've so promised. And we've also got some more stuff that we didn't even talk about on Patreon. That's just coming.
Yep.
Just get excited for it.
We're working on some stretch goals. We're working on some more stuff to give every backer tier.
Yay!
Yay.
And so, if you're interested in that sort of thing, we've also got a link to the Patreon down below, so take a look at that. See if the package works for you. If not, give us some feedback. That's also very helpful in any case. Otherwise, it's been Axis.
And Water Elemental.
And I moved, and you're moving at some point, and we're just both going to be really tired. So forgive us if the energy's not all there.
Oh, my energy is up and ready.
Mine's not. I got like 3 hours of sleep because I had to drive my sister home from the bar, and then I had to move stuff, and I had to stoop to collect things. Stoop.
That's how do you really feel?
I don't know what I'm doing.
This has been therapy with axes.
Someone showed me down some stairs, some fell stairs, some void stairs.